I think we're on.
Bum, bum.
It's USfanTV. We're back. I don't know the last time we did a show. I don't remember. I thought we were done with this, but you guys convinced me that I have to come back and do this crap. So welcome. It's USfanTV. The United States men's national team drew 1-1 in Nashville with the Canadian men's national team.
So does Canada get a point? Does Canada get a point and a quarter because of the exchange rate out of this?
You were trying to qualify for the World Cup the other day. If you get the reference.
Yeah, there was definitely not a lot of FERDA going on tonight.
They needed that, actually. It was too much pretty Berhalter ball and not enough. We needed the coach from Letterkenny because it was kind of embarrassing.
Fucking embarrassing.
So where do we want to start with this? I feel like there's some things to unpack here. Do we want to hammer Berhalter first?
I don't know. We're not doing minivan dad. You're not gonna drive this ship into some sort of weird territory. I can tell you that.
I'm gonna stay on the game tonight.
This is my fucking show now. Like you're not gonna be like, hey, what do you guys think of sparkling water? What's your favorite?
No,
I can't do that, TJ.
Well, we're not going there. There's a lot to unpack with this game. Let's get to it then. Stop rambling. Let's start.
We have comments already. You guys I enjoy that. We got Zach saying, "OMG, they're back." Kick Ass says, "Yo, what's up, guys?" And Wuxia says, "Is Greg still asleep?" I don't know. You know what I did see? I saw Greg out for a light jog around.
Yeah, how about that?
Nashville today, and in his
did it wear him
national
out
team
though?
Stuff, and people were shouting at him. I thought that was odd. And then I thought some of his choices today were odd, and my pal Alex texted me. Basically, I'm paraphrasing here, but he's like, "Why is Greg fucking around and not getting cute and not just trying to, put this thing away?" I don't know. We can't. I feel like we can't get too pissed at Greg because Greg's done a lot of good lately too. But it's the ups and downs of Greg maybe aren't as dramatic as we think they are, but. That was a really boring game.
Well, the momentum and the positives are gone from this summer.
There was a lot of possession, at least in the first half, and it didn't amount to anything. And then we saw the Aronson goal, which was nice. That's the type of goal that I feel like without VAR, we're going to have one or two of those that are called offside, and it's CONCACAF, and it's just going to have to be offside because apparently only few of the countries have the technology to even have offside. So, and then the Laren goal that was basically set up by Alphonso Davies roasting DeAndre Yedlin, which I texted you guys saying, remember when we used to think that Yedlin was fast? He's not Davies fast. But I don't know how many people.
I was going to say you would also
stay with him 1v1. So
is there anybody faster than him right now in the world?
You don't want a situation if you're coaching against Canada. You want to eliminate any opportunity for any of your players to be involved in a 1v1 on the wing with Davies, and that did not happen tonight. So 2 points through 2 games, not good, not the end of the world yet. But I think that in this first 3 game group, I would have wanted 6 to feel good.
Let me start with one question though, before we completely shred Greg, which I think is fair. However, my question is: have we ever done 3 qualifiers in one session like this?
I don't think so.
No,
3 games in 7 days. I don't think it's ever been done before. So
8 days, but yeah,
it's being done now, TJ.
I get that, Pat, but I mean, the juggling of the lineup gets a lot more difficult is what I'm kind of getting at with this.
Alex, do you want to be on the show? I'll send you a link. Write your response.
Boom.
Alex is my employee now. You like that?
So
he's not just a person.
Lineup choice. Was there anybody in the lineup choices you guys thought he shouldn't have been there?
Well, under the circumstances, I don't know if I can necessarily say any of them shouldn't have been there.
Who would you have changed? What would you have changed out?
That's what I'm saying. Under the circumstances, when McKennie's out because of
Being stupid.
I assume a COVID violation. I never heard what the violation of team protocols was, or
Send it to Alex, by the way, Pat.
standards or whatever. I never. We knew that Reyna had the hamstring injury.
Sure.
Or at least we knew shortly before the game. So right there, you're already missing, I don't know, two pretty vital parts of your midfield. In the last game, the big problem was that I felt like Aronson was kind of positioned like a 10, but he was playing more like an 8, which was then forcing McKennie too wide. There was no Adams there to kind of fill some of that space. So like we had too much space between the back line and call it central midfield, maybe even call it forwards. Here, we resolved some of that, but we created other issues by doing it. And some of that is down to the lineup. But I also don't think that who the hell would you turn to? Now, some of that may be that Greg didn't take as many players with him as he could have for this stage or series of games. Whatever.
It would be nice if we could have turned to Weston.
Yeah.
But Weston apparently.
I do think that dude needs to take some heat because his absence, I felt like, had a big effect in this game. And we don't know all the details to that,
but it doesn't look good. I mean, this is a dude that as I recall in the spring, had to sit out a Juve match because if he was at a party or threw a party or something in violation of protocol.
Yeah, that
so
one
like without knowing all the details, it would be.
No, and I saw someone point out, I thought rightfully on Twitter, which rational on Twitter really doesn't usually go hand in hand, but it was that McKinney's the type of guy with his fire and energy you'd want as your captain. However, he seems to make some really poor choices. And holy cow, live from
Alex.
Florida, did you get COVID just from stepping foot in the state?
What's up?
What's up, Alex?
Not yet. Maybe I'll be like, maybe I'll just get tested and I'll suddenly have COVID. How's it going? Well, not great.
Yeah. Alex, it's good to have you here because you're smarter than all of us, and so we'll let you talk. Alex is, of course, a giant TikTok star now. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
So if you don't know that, you should know that. Douglas wants to know, did Chris have connection issues again? Yes, of course he did. He couldn't hear us, and then he was complaining that it was our fault, and then we had to tell him it was his fault.
I can hear you guys just fine. I'm sitting there asking, can you hear me? I'm trying to text, but I'm on my phone, so I can't connect to you. And you guys are just talking away.
That was on purpose.
I figured.
Alex, is that an actual 94 jersey that you have?
Yes.
Well done. That jersey's older than you then, is that correct?
It is. Just like a Tiva Hutchinson's Canada career.
All right.
I got a 94, but not the denim.
You have the wavy bacon, as I recall, right, Chris?
Indeed, yes. The wavy bacon, as they say, yeah.
As it's been said. Are we worried? Are we worried about having only 2 points through 2 games?
There's 14 games. How can you be worried?
I'm not worried, but I'm not comfortable. Like, it was worse than this, and we were still saying in the last cycle, come on, we're still going to qualify. So
that's true. We had 0 points through 2 games last time, but it was Mexico home and Costa Rica away.
But I feel like I think some of the problem, issue, concern that people are having is just that based on what happened in the last cycle, we're a little more nervous. We're a little more willing to accept the idea that if we fuck up, we won't be there next time. There's a new level of, anxiety to it all. But when you think about it, everyone's only played 2 games. Even if we'd lost both, we'd only be 6 points back. We didn't lose both. They were kind of crappy draws, but
I don't know. The draw away, I don't have a huge issue with. I feel like you got to beat, and I know this is new Canada. This isn't old Canada. Canada has some players now. Canada has a team now, but I feel like you got to get 3 points against Canada at home. I'm not
I think
upset
you have
about
to
the
win
draw.
every
Either
home
way, though.
game except for Mexico.
Yeah, that's the formula, right?
Well, and what did they point out during the broadcast that in the previous 29 qualifiers up until this last cycle they had lost one. Now they lost two in the previous cycle, and that's probably why they didn't make the World Cup when it comes down to it. I mean, so a draw isn't terrible. A draw isn't terrible. Yeah, you need three at home. I don't think that it's, but a draw is not the end of the world, but you should have three at home. You do need to get three at home, especially to set the momentum right. So, because I feel like if they're doing three every time, this is the easiest three they're going to have in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean Jamaica looks like shit right now, but you got to assume they're going to be pretty hungry for a win next month when we got to play them. So yeah, you need some things going positively, and in that regard, there's not a lot to say out of this game. I mean, I didn't think Brooks started out well. You know, one of the things I said in the first game was that I felt like the team needed Brooks to play. He started well. I thought he played well in the first half. He wasn't that good in the second. He was getting burned after he got his yellow card. It wasn't his fault that the cross came in, but he was kind of I mean, it was his guy who put the ball in the net. So either he needed to be with the man, or he needed to get to the ball, and he didn't do either one. So you know, he's slightly culpable for the goal as well. I felt like we didn't do enough to control the midfield, which again probably goes down to where was McKennie, because he's going to help do that. Where was Reyna to help hold some of the ball there? I liked that it got Aronson out of just kind of playing in that, I guess, sort of like a 10 position like he was in the last game, because I felt like he was sort of lost there for at least for large portions of it. This got him more involved, but it also left Pulisic was picking up the ball like Michael Bradley used to, you know, like, oh, hey, I'm going to go get it from sideways pass from a defender or something, you know, like it left him out of position, I think, because we didn't have more control in the midfield. I don't know. What do you say? There's not a lot of positive to say there.
And Chris, I feel like that's kind of a good point, though, is other than McKinney getting himself off suspension, what else do you have to put in the midfield? That might be one of the weaker spots in the roster.
I think it's a strength. The problem is it's a strength for 3 to 4 guys.
In terms of
tend
depth,
to play at the same time, and yeah, when they're all out, what the fuck do you do?
Right, and in terms of the depth, the depth is lacking there versus the other spots. Sorry, I apologize, Chris. But what do you do from here? I mean, Tyler Adams, does he come more forward than where he is right now?
He was doing some of that, but I also felt, and I think that worked probably in the first half when Brooks was playing better and was able to play some of those balls out of the back that, in a sense, allow the midfielders to kind of move up and help support more of the offense. In the second half, that wasn't happening. Adams had to be more involved defensively, and then kind of move that ball to the next midfielder or somewhere further up the field, and wasn't getting the time to do that as much because, again, we weren't holding it. So I don't know. I feel like the midfield in general is a strength for us now, but we're not. We're a shallow team. I think our starting 11 is really good. Beyond that, I don't know. I don't have enough trust in some of the next 4 to 5 guys to truly replace that starting 11. That I can say, yeah, somebody gets hurt, somebody gets COVID, whatever, we're fine. I feel like when it's not that the core we're hoping for, the 11 we're hoping for, it's not the same team. Which, whatever, I guess the weakness of that argument is when have we actually seen that full team? So who the hell knows what that full team would do? But it's clear that that starting 11 has the most skill.
Can I?
Or the 11 that make up that.
Can I throw a name out there that
starting?
is injured, or it's not with the side, and I think it's injury related, is who would I feel like in both of these games might have made a difference just because he seems to have those is Giassi Zardes. I feel like both of these games, if there was a goal to be had, Zardes seems to find those weird ass
his
goals.
Face or his ass?
Or his balls. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But if there's a weird ass goal to be had, he's gonna have it. And I feel like both those games were lended themselves to him finding those type of goals.
No one really looked like scoring. So
yeah.
That's insane.
But I said, go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
I was going to say, like, basically the best chance of the game, at least of shot that didn't go in, was that header that I can't remember which one of their defenders had, like off that Aronson cross. He like almost looped in right over their keeper's head.
And at what point do you go to Pepe?
Yeah, that kind of annoyed me that he didn't get a run out tonight.
He should have come in. Like, what was the point in bringing him at all if he's not going to play?
Right. Yeah.
Now you have to assume he's not playing away.
Right. I would almost think at this point you give him a run out, because I feel like, again, if you're going to have somebody like who's going to score a garbage goal like Zardes usually does in CONCACAF games, Pepe's the one that's going to do it. Out of everybody, out of the forwards they have, he seems like that type of player. He finds those spaces where they really don't exist, or maybe he shouldn't be there, and finds goals out of it. But with the form he's in, he deserves a run out at this point. I haven't seen anything out of Sargent or that warrants it. So
yeah, 11 goals for FC Dallas this year. That's ahead of like Buxa and Chicharito and like some guys that you would assume, you think about having tons of MLS goals. He's making a run at the Golden Boot if he continues the pace he's on. So can he come into a national team game? Yeah, I think if you put him on the roster, he should play. And the fact that he hasn't, isn't a good look, but I don't know. Maybe we're too down on this whole thing. I mean, maybe our expectations were too high. We're still probably going to qualify, right? Did we do this last time? I feel like we probably did the same show 4 years ago, and then we didn't. But no, because we were really mad after those first two losses last time around. So,
well, it was. I mean, there was a lot to be mad at 4 years ago. Let me ask a question to everybody, because I think I threw it in the text chat, or I put it up on Twitter earlier, but I meant to ask you guys the same question. Zach Steffen's out with COVID. Got it. He's vaccinated. Got it. Is Turner the guy at this point?
Yeah.
I feel like he should be.
Yeah,
even if Steffen's healthy,
so.
I feel like Turner should be the guy at this point.
No, I think he is.
The way he's playing, the way he seems to, the team responds to him. I feel like it's Turner's show at this point.
And I'll give him that save in the first half early on when they should have scored, and he pushed it wide. That was impressive. That was a good reaction save.
Sandra's here, you guys. Hi, Sandra.
Thanks, Christian.
I'm trying to see the chat. It's not really working.
You have to have a second screen up and have it.
I just run YouTube on something else and watch.
Oh.
Yeah, I've got it on my other screen. So
I have it in the StreamYard window, which I feel like we have the free version of StreamYard because we're a giant operation here, and I think there's some kind of time limit. There's some kind of time limit for this show. I don't know what it is. So if it randomly cuts off at some point,
we suddenly go black. Well,
and you won't complain because you guys have been bitching that we haven't been doing this for whatever amount of time. So we're back. Chris has Jurgen Klopp glasses since the last time you've seen him. I still wear hats. Yep. TJ has lighting and he's not holding a baby. Alex is all grown up. It's, you should be happy with what you have. That's all I'm saying.
There's nothing you said there that's not wrong, Pat. I agree with every bit of that. And, as they say in Ocean's 11, it's good to be amongst proper villains again.
Mm-hmm.
So I do appreciate that. So a point against Canada. Again, I know it feels like
words of Danny Rojas, football is dead.
It feels like 2 points lost, but it's not. I don't think it's anything for concern. But do we lay this one at the foot of Triple G, or is this? Do we start? And I'm getting into not even conspiracies, but bigger picture. Was Nashville a shit place to put this game?
No, I mean, look at the crowd.
And Nashville's not to blame for it. Yeah.
No, Nashville's not to blame for much of anything.
I think it wasn't the best location it could have done. I mean, I think
where would you have
you're
gone?
in a small MLS stadium where you have a full sold-out crowd, that's, I think, a better atmosphere to be in than, honestly, where the upper decks were half empty in an NFL stadium. But
what about Minnesota? Pat, Minnesota. Let's go to St. Paul for a game. You don't think that place would have been on fire, even though it's Southern Canada? I get it, but you don't think that place would have been on fire with home fans?
No, it would have been fantastic. I mean,
you still have Columbus. You still have Cincinnati. I mean, obviously,
I just feel like when we did we shouldn't have played in New Jersey because there's lots of people from Costa Rica in New Jersey. I feel like blaming that
was a dumb excuse. Yeah,
we lost or we drew the game today. Like it's not. I feel like maybe you can make a better choice. You can always argue that, but like no, it's on the players and it's on Berhalter. Christian, you asked why isn't Alex doing his homework? Well, it's Labor Day weekend. I assume he's done with his homework. I brought on Alex to write at Hot Time in Old Town, and one of the agreements I made is that there would be time that he would be able to finish his homework before he was writing other stuff for us. So that's actually a very real thing. The homework, we joke,
contractually obligated.
It's in writing somewhere. So, yeah.
So now my question is for Alex: is the humidity worse where you are in Florida, or was it worse in Nashville tonight? Because apparently,
what was it in Nashville? It wasn't too bad here because I'm right next to the ocean.
Okay.
It's literally right out the window, so it wasn't that bad here.
Because, I mean, Nashville, it looked like they're slipping and sliding with the humidity, so I'm just wondering which one would be worse out of that. So
probably worse there. And actually, COVID is worse in Nashville than it is here. So Tennessee has a worse rate, apparently.
Can't believe we're still doing COVID. Should have been done by now. Just drags out. It's like The Simpsons. It's still around. You can't believe it's still around. You thought it'd be done.
South Park.
No longer relevant, but still.
Yeah. Both with both of them, it's true.
Kind of true.
So, what's the expectation for Honduras? Is a point good?
Well, that's the thing.
In a vacuum, a point is good in Honduras.
Yeah.
Way. But this is not. We don't live in a vacuum, and we just dropped 4 points against El Salvador and Canada.
Would you like to see Mexico sitting on 9 and us sitting on 3 to start the first 3 games?
I guess I've kind of reached the point with Mexico sitting on 6 already. I don't care. I know it's sacrilege to you and Chris, or you and to Pat and Chris. I don't care about Mexico. They're going to go through. Got it. I don't care anymore. I'm more worried about the teams that are relevant at this point. Mexico's more or less, they're going to go through. Like it or not, Mexico's going to go through. They're on 6 right now. They're going to get shithousery to get themselves through whatever they need to go through. So I'm not even concerned about Mexico. I'd almost rather have them taking points from teams that we're in the scrum with for the other 2.5 spots. If Mexico's going to get ahead,
I don't want to give up on winning the, what is it called? It's not the hex, the oct.
The Ocho.
The Ocho. I like that better. Yeah, the Ocho. I don't want to give up on winning the Ocho yet. So, it's, to write them off as not, we can't catch them. I think that's ridiculous. But at the same time, 3 points to 9 points would be and I'm not saying it's going to end up that way. I mean, it could be, they could sit on 6, they could lose their next game, we could win it, and it would be 6 and 5, and that wouldn't seem so crazy. Don't get me wrong.
If Mexico goes on loses 3 or 4 in a row, it's absolute awesomeness. But at the same time, if they're going to take points from teams that are with us in that same level of the standings behind them, I don't consider that necessarily a bad thing at this point. I guess I've just kind of.
It's advantageous for all the other teams to take points off each other. So, like Panama upsetting Jamaica, that's good because if we're going to be competing with Jamaica for 3rd place, and again, Panama, they're not going to be able to keep this up probably, I assume, because they're not that good. Like, if all these teams are taking points off each other, that helps us. Like, Panama and Costa Rica fighting each other, that kind of thing. So it can't
Sandra
hurt.
wants to know how the game was tonight. I would say, to sum it up, we got too
Boring.
cute, had a lot of possession, didn't finish our chances except for the one, and Alphonso Davies is really fast in 1v1 situations. And
then Chris summed it up the other way. Boring.
mhm. I mean, before the 2 goals, I was falling asleep. Like I texted you guys, I don't know if I'm gonna make it to the end of this game. I pepped up after the 2 goals, but it was like, come on, guys, let's not screw around.
You seem very peppy.
I did think that Wixia wrote this. I did think that
Pepperoo.
Tejan was going to score a winner, and he did not. So that's
Yeah,
He
good
came
news.
close.
yeah, he
Yeah.
He came close. There's no question about it. I've seen it a couple times in the chat, people calling for Berhalter's head. Seriously, knock it off at this point. He's earned enough rope to keep going at this point.
And you guys know who the backup plan is, right?
Who?
It's
You?
Bob Bradley.
Antonio
I'm
Conte.
not kidding. I'm not even kidding, by the way. Bob Bradley, this is not a conspiracy theory. I guarantee, I just feel like this is true. I feel like that's why U.S. Soccer told him not to renew at LAFC, just in case.
Alex has sources. I'm gonna say that just right now. He does. So I would believe him if he says that. It makes sense too.
I mean, I don't know who else you would hire in that scenario.
Michael Bradley.
Bruce Arena.
Everyone would hate.
But the difference between Bob and Bruce right now is Bruce is winning. I will point that out to those who aren't paying attention. But yeah, Berhalter's
Jesse Marsh eventually wants the job, but he can't.
We're
take
gonna
it now.
get Bruce Arena back, and then we're gonna bring Jeff Cameron back. And we're gonna... And then there's going to be a complete COVID wipeout of the entire team.
Well, it says we fired Klinsmann for the same thing. Klinsmann
Well,
lost at home to Mexico
Not yet.
and it got housed in Costa
Yeah.
Rica. I mean, that game,
Yeah,
what was it, 3-0, and it wasn't even that close
4-0,
necessarily.
yeah.
it was. Was it 3 or 4?
This is
It was
I think it was
4.
4, right? It
I
It was
don't
like
remember
everyone
the
knew
final.
he was gone at that point.
was
But
horrible.
I was going to say, whatever the result was, it wasn't nearly as bad as it could have been. It should have been. That's more of, I mean,
And
Berhalter's got 2 points. At this point, as that was pointed out earlier, Klinsmann had 0 at this point.
But Klinsmann was also playing Mexico and Costa Rica away. Berhalter
But
had
Mexico-
El Salvador
Mexico-
and Canada at home.
Mexico was at
Mhm.
home. Mexico was at home. That's a different story. That's
No, that's what he's saying though. It was Mexico and then Costa Rica, comma, then
right.
Costa Rica away. So yeah, it's
clearly
Well, no,
the players
sorry.
had quit on him. I mean,
Right.
there was that time during the Mexico game where Bradley and
Jermaine.
And Jermaine came over and like basically told him we were changing the lineup, and then the whole game changed. So there were other circumstances. It's not exactly the same as when we got rid of Klinsmann.
No, and then the Costa Rica game, Jermaine Jones decided to try and play every position in one half,
Well,
leaving.
is Jermaine.
At least he tried to play positions, unlike some of the players. I mean, I still think like the fire Greg stuff is ridiculous at this point, but maybe we'll look back in hindsight and think we're being ridiculous now. But I think he's earned the opportunity to do this, and it's a big play, right? It's not. We tend to like view everything in these little windows, and right now it sucks, right? Because of these last few moments, but like big picture, Greg's done a good job, and big picture qualifying might work well for us. I don't think we should be making a change, even if it's only a point at away on Wednesday at Honduras. But if 0, if we lose that game, I still don't think we changed coaches at this point.
Again,
but
14 games will be 3 games through. We're not even 25% of the way through now.
And you look at the next window and you see Jamaica, who are they just lost 3-0 to Panama at home. We look at that at home, and then you have Panama away, and then Costa Rica, who are awful at home. So those are 3 games. honestly, 7 points from those, we should be getting 7, if not 9.
Sure.
So-
But we thought 7 was realistic here. But I will say the Costa Rica game, knowing that they still have
God.
Calvo gives me hope.
Calvo is their
I have to deal.
one of the best.
I have to
outfield
deal with the
players.
guy,
That tells
TJ.
you all you need to know.
What'd you say, Alex?
The fact that Francisco Calvo is wearing the captain's armband half the time for them tells you all you need to know about the Costa Rican national team.
I didn't watch the game. I will trust that that's the case. And oh my gosh, wow.
He almost broke Alexis Vega's leg, apparently, or something like that. Some people were saying something on Twitter about how dirty of a player he is because of what he did to Vega.
I heard he had a very dirty tackle. I didn't see it, but I heard it was a dirty tackle.
Alex, I'm sure you watched it. Was it standard Calvo?
I didn't watch it. I was
Standard
at dinner.
Calvo isn't typically dirty though, TJ. Standard Calvo is
Standard Calvo is just kicking the
abandoning
ball.
defensive responsibilities.
I was gonna say standard Calvo is a cone. I got it. Yeah, that's true.
Or no, it's like playing a line splitting pass that's intercepted.
Oh,
or,
U.S. Soccer is trending on Twitter. Nice.
Wonderful.
What's trending on Twitter?
U.S. Soccer.
U.S. Soccer.
Oh, huh.
Can't imagine why. What else is going on tonight?
and nothing good is being said. No, like I see here in the comments, like laughable that Klinsmann got fired. Like, it was a different set of circumstances. There was a lot leading up to those losses, and then those losses occurred.
There was a lot of disarray and confusion behind the scenes. Yeah, and I don't think that's the case with Greg. He did not get fired because of those 2 losses in a vacuum. So
no, last I checked, Greg still has pretty much the pulse of the team. There's a lot of guys saying they'll go to the grave for Greg. I mean, he has the team still. That's really not an issue.
I still wonder, and we've talked about this for years on this show. Greg's style is very complex for a national team. When I still wonder when you have a group of guys once every couple of months, a few times a year, if it's a good idea to run a complex system.
You know what? He beat Mexico twice this summer. I think he's earned.
I know. He's earned the benefit of the doubt.
And I think given time, again, I think Reyna healthy, McKinney not doing McKinney things, we might be having a completely different discussion at this point.
Yeah, and I think people. I hope Weston's learned a lesson about not screwing around. He's a vital member of this team.
Sorry,
this is not the first time that's happened.
I know.
New Jersey Ace is saying it helps when your brother's high up in USSF. His brother's been gone for what, a year or 2 now?
I think he left in like February. So yeah.
Is it February? I thought it was longer than that, but yeah, his brother's not there anymore. And I will be the first one to argue that one. Yes, his brother was high up in U.S. Soccer. Greg Berhalter is immensely qualified to be the U.S. national team coach.
Separation of church and Berhalters. TJ.
He's a qualified coach. He was doing a solid job with Columbus. He understands how CONCACAF works, which I think gives him a leg up over Klinsmann any day of the week and twice on Sundays, is he understands the rough and tumble nature of CONCACAF. And I think in terms of, if you're not going to get Jesse Marsh, I think Berhalter's one of the next ones you're going to get beyond that. Could they have gotten Jesse Marsh? Maybe, maybe not. I don't think he was ready yet. I don't think
Jesse Marsh shouldn't. Jesse Marsh wants to do it one day, and maybe 2026 is the right time for him. But what he's doing at Leipzig now, no, he should stay there. I think his big long-term importance for U.S. soccer is doing more heavy lifting at Leipzig right now, and what he's doing there than it would as coach of the national team. But
those who saying his brother's why Berhalter got hired, I think is a bunch of bullshit. I think Berhalter was. Berhalter was still a good hire. I said it then, and I will stay with that one.
I don't think. Yeah, it's not like he's unqualified or something. You're right, TJ. It's just now. Will he do a good job? We'll have to see. You can win all those summer trophies you want, but qualifying for the World Cup is what it's about.
as much as I 100% agree with you in the short run, he beat Mexico twice. That makes us happy. We needed happy at this.
Yeah,
point, at that
it's a
point.
fun thing.
Mhm.
It's like Arsenal winning an FA Cup. It's a fun thing that happens sometimes, and it makes us happy, but it's not really what we're trying to do
And
here.
it means nothing.
Yeah. We don't want to fail at the thing again that we're trying to do, which is to first qualify for the World Cup and then to eventually do something in the World Cup. Yeah, the Gold Cup is fine. It's fun. And Nations League is fine. It's fun. Those games were fun, but it's fun watching Mexico lose. But that's not what this is about.
No, I agree. It is 100% about qualifying for the World Cup, but you win the games that are in front of you. You beat Mexico's A team twice. You kind of earned a little bit of cash out of that. And with the team that they took to the Gold Cup to beat Mexico a second time, I'm sorry, that tells you he knows what the hell he's doing. He'll sort it out. I'm sure he sat there in his planning and said, you know what, as we get ready for these qualifiers, let's have Zach Steffen have back spasms and then test positive for COVID. Let's have Gio Reyna get injured. Let's have Pulisic come in with COVID and now McKinney do stupid ass things. Let's have John Brooks coming in exhausted. Come on, that's
yeah, that's a lot of stuff.
Impossible.
But
there's a lot of stuff.
This is like the Fire early in the MLS season, complaining that they had injuries. Everybody's got problems.
Alex, I agree. It's going to happen every time. But the first time it happens, you're not as prepared for it as you probably could be. You think he's going to not be as prepared the next time around for these type of instances?
Well, I think also another issue is that he seemed to think we were okay no matter what. As in, Weah goes down, Pulisic's not 100%. He doesn't call in anyone else. And then Reyna goes down.
Who would you have called in? Who would you have called in?
Julian Green. Probably
okay.
Julian.
Yep.
Julian.
Yeah, you know what, Alex? I will give you that. I thought he was an oversight on the roster. I will give you that 100% on that one. He is absolutely succeeding, but I still think Pepe would have been the substitution. Yes, he should have made the subs earlier in the 83rd minute. I'm not saying any of that's necessarily true, but there's a whole lot of shit going on that it's hard to prepare for necessarily. And maybe Green would have been good because he can play in the midfield or he can go more advanced. I guess I concur with that. He would have been a good sub. He would have been a good backup on. If you're going to lose Reyna, Green's probably your next best option. I'll grant you that.
He is still the most recent American to score a World Cup goal, right? Where's the guy who used to insult it? What was the guy that would insult us on here? The funny guy. Anonymity. Where's he? Why doesn't he? I expect that when we randomly do a show after, I don't know, months, years, I don't know. It was the Wales game, right? Isn't that the last time we did this?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I would expect that he would just show up.
know.
All of you should just show up when we turn this thing on. Some of you did. Some of you know.
Hey, Dom, to answer your question, if we lose to Honduras, should he be out? No. If he lost to Honduras at home, I think the seat gets a little warmer. But losing at Honduras, the answer is no. If it was at home, like I said, I think the seat starts warming up a bit. But nah. Again, he beat Mexico twice in the summer. Mexico's top team. You know he knows how to do this. Losing with the scrambling he's doing right now, and the third game in, Chris said 8 days. But Thursday to Wednesday, Chris, is 7 days. So thought I'd point that out to you, buddy. 3 games in 7 days that's a lot. So no, I don't think he's in trouble. I think if he loses in Honduras, less comfortable feeling.
I think there's no chance that he's gone before the end of October. If we're still in trouble at the end of the October window, then maybe they start looking at options.
When Bob's done with LAFC.
Yeah, they're going to miss playoffs.
I mean, realistically.
Right? So, yeah. And I know that's crazy, but that's the rumor.
No, nobody's okay with 2 points in 3 games. The point is just that simply being okay with it doesn't mean that, it's time already to move on to somebody else.
Well, and Chris, I
right. Right.
Wow, and I'm going to agree with Chris. Yeah, 2 points in 3 games is not ideal, but it's not time to take the gas. It's not time to take the gas pipe. It's not time to go back to Trinidad and Tobago again. We're not at Trinidad and Tobago 2. We're not at DEFCON 1 or whatever.
After that show, by the way, Chris said that U.S. Soccer owes us something. Did we ever get what they owed us?
I don't, Chris,
Oh, yeah,
what do
we
you got?
got a goddamn thing. I did, yeah. Oh, I forgot I even said that. Yeah. I forget the things I said in that show because I never will watch it. I only vaguely remember a few things that came out of my mouth. If we lose to Honduras, we won't make it realistically. No. Does it get harder every game? Sure. But
Well, then we have to start winning games on the road as well at some point because
yeah.
we just dropped 2 points at home. And when you think about it, you have to win at home and get points on the road. But if you drop points at home, you need to make those up on the road.
Yep.
Mhm.
So who do we have on the road?
Right.
Panama, like Jamaica. Those are the next 2 road games. We have to get points somewhere.
Well, a Francisco Calvo-led Costa Rica makes me feel a little bit better. Sorry, Pat. I'm going to keep pointing that one out.
You can talk about Francisco all you want.
Alex and I will take care of ripping Calvo for you. So, or Alex, can you not do that with your contract?
He has some issues sometimes. I will give you that. But
I agree we should move on from Tim Reed. That said, he didn't play tonight. I mean,
No, he didn't play.
He wasn't bad in the first game.
He wasn't brutal. He wasn't exactly good. He wasn't terrible.
I mean, I don't think he should be here given the other center backs we have. I mean, what's the point in calling 6 center backs for playing with 2? Like, yeah, those are wasted roster spots, and we're only going to call up 3 natural 8s.
So who do we run out on Wednesday?
Pepe.
What changes would Pat? I agree with 100%. Pepe needs
some
to
of it
be
some
might
point in
come
the
down
game.
to him. Like Reyna's supposed to be going back to Dortmund to rehab.
He's going back tomorrow.
I assume anybody who has a serious chance of starting on the weekend is going back. Like, is Pulisic going to be here on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's not going to
Will
start.
he,
Better
anyway.
be.
Why would he be going back?
I don't know who Chelsea play. Who did Chelsea play next week, Alex?
Reyna's going back because he's hurt, not because he's.
Who is
Oh, I-
Chelsea playing?
Right.
I
No,
understand, but, like-
Pulisic's got to be here on Wednesday.
Pulisic
Yeah,
will be here.
Pulisic-
That's not a
everyone's
question.
going to be here who's not injured. Next game is Villa. Yeah, he's not starting that. So
You get McKinney
All
back,
right.
right? In theory, you get McKinney back, correct?
I'd assume so. I hope so.
Presumably, I mean,
We don't know, but yeah, we hope so.
Oh,
I
somebody
mean,
asked
and
me.
you run out
depends
Adams
on
90 minutes again.
what
Like,
happened.
Sorry, can I jump in? Sorry, I'm going to jump in because we did not cover this at all, and I feel like, sorry, Joel Mendoza put it out. What do y'all think of Dest? And with the early part of the game, I sorry, we have not covered Sergino Dest, and I feel like that's I'm going to be bullish on him. He's got to sort out CONCACAF. I get it. He plays for Barcelona where he's not asked to defend a shit ton. But I still think he had the bad transition early on that Turner bailed him out on. But the dude going forward is so damn good.
I do think to fit him in and to maintain a level of security at the back, you probably need to play with 3 in the back, which does fit for a lot of our defenders. So that's nice. But for all his, say, weaknesses as a defender, yeah, the dude is fast and can dribble really well. Like, of course he's going to play.
Ivan says Timmy Chandler
I
part
think
2.
it's gotta
That's
be-
harsh.
He is not Timmy Chandler.
That's harsh.
Maybe Timmy Chandler Club, not Timmy Chandler national team.
I feel like Dest will figure out the defending piece as much as he needs to defend, or they will figure out how to compensate when he decides to go forward. But that dude,
that's Tyler Adams, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that dude is way too
I
talented.
think that's the point to Tyler Adams being there. Yeah.
Dude is way too talented to leave off the field. Sorry. He might have been looked bad on the chance that Turner saved, but and which is probably why Davies was lined up on that side. knowing full well that was the area to exploit. But that dude is he's going to play and he should play.
I mean, I kind of feel like both of our fullbacks are sort of not great defenders, but better offensive.
You start
kind of
thinking.
wing
You
back
start thinking about.
options.
You start thinking about three at the
Maybe
back,
I
then?
shouldn't even say both, because you also kind of put Yedlin into that group. And
You start thinking like 5 at the back, where you have the 3 center backs that
I mean,
hold that a little
Robinson
better.
plays that, right? Robinson plays that for Fulham. Dest plays
Yeah.
that for Barcelona. We look at our back three. Well, Richards isn't here, but a lot of these guys also play in a back three. So, I mean, the only thing that happens is then that takes out Adams' strengths.
it probably
But
screws Adams
he's
out of a
gassed
spot, or you got
probably
to
anyway
shoehorn him
after
in
2
somewhere
games.
else. Yeah.
He's probably
I-
gassed after 2 full games anyway. So I
Let-
think it may end up being Acosta and McKennie the next game.
Let me just I want to comment on the chat. Stop talking about Dest as Fabian Johnson, Timmy Chandler. The dude is exponentially better than either one of those guys. Just stop.
I don't mind calling him Fabian Johnson. Like, I don't know how you can shit on anything Fabian Johnson did.
I was very high on
Fucking
Fabian
good.
Johnson for a long time. Yeah,
Where is
Yeah,
Fabian
you've been
Johnson? Is he just in
you've
the
been high on a
wilderness?
lot of things in your life.
that's worth a Google.
Because he's
Got it.
been without a club since he left Mönchengladbach.
You
And
couldn't
he
find anywhere in
disappeared.
MLS to take him.
I'm surprised about that. Like,
Yeah.
What do you
no
think
one
of Miles
else can take
Robinson
him?
pairing with Brooks? I haven't seen.
I think that's our best partnership.
It does seem like that's probably it. I haven't seen enough of Miles Robinson at this level to say that I for sure trust him. That said, like, he had which game was it that he was just shit, like in the Gold Cup? But then he was good to like play against Mexico. So I like he's still
So wait,
learning.
So Chris, what you're saying is CONCACAF games can be difficult at times. I'll put this up. I'll put this up in my Twitter feed later. I saw this earlier tonight, and I wanted to kind of. There was I want to say it was just a goal kick or something like that, but there was a point where all 20 outfield players were within a 20-yard section of the field. So to tell me these CONCACAF games are easy, even if you win that ball back, you still have to get through 10 guys in a 20-yard in probably about a 20-yard space. That shit is hard. Now, I get it. They're professionals. They should be able to do it. But the fact that both sides had so much compactness tells you they really didn't think the other side could break through either. So, a draw against Canada, yeah, at home feels like 2 points dropped. I'm not going to say it isn't. But at the same time, Canada isn't terrible anymore. And I feel like if they don't make the World Cup, I feel like it should be a disappointment and their coach should be fired. They got a bunch of
It's
talent.
a good team. Yeah.
And the fact that Buchanan's coming off the bench says a lot. That dude can play. The fact that Osorio's coming off the bench for him.
But yeah. I mean,
But
even
Osorio's
Buchanan with a knock was so dangerous as well. Like,
Canada this isn't Canada of old. This isn't 75 cents to the dollar Canada. This team can play. I feel like if we get a point in Toronto, I don't think I'm not going to be disappointed with it. Yes, I'd like all 3, but I wouldn't be mad about a point in Toronto at this point. So
I think we're going to play them in
3-4-2-1.
Vancouver. So
are they really going to? Really?
Because it's in January, so they can't really play it in Toronto. So Vancouver has a roof.
Good point.
Skydome. You go to Skydome.
I think that Vancouver is the right call. And if Alex, I would tell you this, TJ, if Alex is speculating on something, maybe he's not speculating. So maybe you should just listen to what he says.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm just saying that
speculation, unfortunately.
Okay.
I'm just saying you still have Rogers Center. You still have Montreal. You have the Olympic Stadium in Montreal. There are places in Canada that can be plenty obnoxious that have a roof on them, unfortunately. So
Letterkenny.
Chris, by the way, that was outstanding. That will show up later tonight, by the way.
Wayne, how are you now?
Yeah, check our YouTube ad, or what do you call the image on YouTube?
Thumbnail.
Wow, we had a call
Yeah,
for
thank
Michael.
you,
We had
thank
a
you.
call for Michael Bradley.
Yes.
Maybe they
let's-
mean instead of Bob Bradley, if Triple G is shit canned, as Pat likes to say.
I do like that phrase. It's underused. I feel like it should be used more. All right. I feel like this one's coming off the rails.
It is. Let's wrap it up.
Alex, thanks for joining us. Do you have...
No problem.
We don't do... I got to remember the whole rhythm to this. This is USFanTV. We don't do regular shows anymore because, things happened.
We have
But
lives.
we sometimes do shows when we text and go, should we do a show? And they convince me that, yes, we should. We do them. Now that we're in World Cup qualifying, we might do them more often. Am I guaranteeing you that we're going to do them? No. I'm not going to
I
guarantee
want to
you
do
that.
them.
I don't even know you. I'm not guaranteeing you anything, but I do know this. We might do them. Where to find us. It's pretty obvious. Google can tell you. Alex, you go first. What are your final words?
Well, everyone, I guess, follow me on Twitter, am12, and TikTok.
Yeah,
you on as well.
He's a TikTok star. Follow him.
Life.
TJ.
Yeah, is it just Mexico fans who are angry with you that blew everything up?
There's a lot of that.
I mean, there were Canadians. Actually, I should not look at TikTok right now.
I had this thought. Whatever.
Ahead,
I'll wait for my. I was gonna say I had this thought earlier. The last time we attended, the only time we attended a U.S.-Canada match was, I think, the 2007 Gold Cup semifinal. Was it semifinal or quarterfinal?
It was a semifinal in
LA,
Boston.
yeah.
No, it was in Chicago. Pat and I were there.
Yeah, because it was
almost
the game
ended up
before.
in fights with some Canadians. They were throwing shit at us. We were throwing it back.
Yeah.
Canadians are nice, but Canadian soccer fans are not. I don't know what's up with the soccer fans over there.
Good. Do they hate you? They probably hate you, Alex, don't they?
Yeah, I don't remember what I was. I feel like I said something about Davies. I don't remember what it was. But there was some reason the Canadians hated me.
Well, make sure you say something to them about being on the show tonight. Let them come in to complain.
We've been hated by fans of the French women's national team, by all of Wales for a good period of time. Of course,
there
Mexico,
was a good period in there.
Lots of different groups.
Thanks to Bob Bradley.
Hope Solo's friends hated Chris for a long period of time during a few-year run. It's been, it's not a big surprise anymore. TJ, did I give you a final word?
You didn't. I'm just going to say, everybody take a breath, relax a little bit. There's 14 games. We're 2 games in. Don't take the gas pipe yet, Chris. You included, but just relax. It'll be fine. It will be fine.
Do you? I'm surprised you didn't just ask a random question and keep the show going.
No, I'm ready. I'm ready to be done. Screw you guys.
Chris.
I got nothing else. You're done.
All right. That's it. We'll maybe see you here again. Maybe we won't, but you're done.